Alright, good morning YouTube. It's Nick with NK Landscaping, again as usual. So, you might be able to see, it's wet. Today's Monday. It has been raining all weekend. And I mean, it poured Saturday, it poured Sunday, and it poured this morning. My pond is full. The dam is overflowing, like completely. But we have a job to work on today, as usual. So we're going to be spreading out 40 yards of topsoil, cleaning up an area where that topsoil is going to be spread, and then planting 3 privacy screening trees. So to start, I'm dropping the enclosed trailer from last week. Kurt's going to be towing this, and like we said, the dump trailer can't tow this, unfortunately. The dump truck cannot tow this trailer just because the hitch setup doesn't work. The jack for the trailer hits the dump truck bed, so Kurt's going to get the 2022 Chevy to tow this. I'm going to be hooking up the gooseneck. So let me get all this swapped around and we'll get started getting loaded up here. So as you can see, everything is just a soupy, muddy mess. So I gotta get the gooseneck hooked up. Just gotta move some stuff out of the way, but it's just nasty in here. And unfortunately, Wednesday, today's Monday, we're getting 2 more loads of millings, so the driveway ends about where my truck is now. That's as far as I was able to get with the original 40-ton load. And the plan is come straight back to here from the truck and fill in around the shed all through here, so we have a bit of a work area to work off of in the morning when we get loaded up for everything. So that's coming, it's just not today. First try, what can I say? I don't have a backup camera for the gooseneck, and my regular backup camera stopped working, so woohoo! Well, you know how I said it was mushy up here? Yeah, I'm stuck. So I wouldn't say that this is a steep hill by any means, but you can see the truck is going uphill, and that gooseneck weighs like 5,500 pounds, but it's just it is just nasty mud. Now I stripped some of the topsoil out of this area when I moved here, but there's still a pretty hefty layer of topsoil here, and it's just super slick and sticky when it gets wet. I kind of, where the driveway ends is where I cut the topsoil out. That's what all that soil is, that pile. That's all job scraps, but yeah, so I'm gonna have to strip a little more out of here before we put the millings down, but Steph's gonna give me a hand. I'm just gonna hop in the skid steer and push the trailer, and then that should get the truck right out of here. So I got Steph here on the phone with me. I tried pushing the truck and it just wanted to slide down the hill. So Steph, you can go ahead and put it in drive. Ready? Yeah, just a little bit, nice and slow. There we go. Yeah, it's super slick. The truck is just drifting sideways. Alright, you should be good right about there, Steph. That's good. Well, that was easy. I told you it was wet. So this is all just flowing water coming out of the hill. So, skid steer is loaded. I gotta get the excavator with the pallet forks loaded. Everything's gotta get strapped down. But it's so tricky to work back here with this going on, because it's like, you know, I don't want to track all this mud out on the road. I don't want to track all this mud, to be honest, anywhere, but it's just part of rain, so gotta deal with it and just keep working. Alright, so I want to talk about towing here for a second. So we have the excavator and the skid steer on the gooseneck right now. So the Kubota KX33 weighs in at like 8,300 pounds without any attachments. So by the time you add the steel wrist and a bucket, you're basically at 9,000 pounds. The Bobcat is about 9,000 pounds. And then we have a couple various attachments on the deck of the trailer. So between the two machines and attachments, I'd say we're about 19,000 pounds. The trailer weighs about 5,500 pounds, so that puts you at about 24,500. Now, if the gross weight of your truck and trailer add up and equal up to or at or above 26,000 pounds, you need a CDL. So in our case, the truck has a gross capacity of 14,000 pounds, and the trailer has a gross capacity of 22,500 pounds. So you need a CDL. I have my Class A. I do have air brake restriction, so I took my Class A test in our old Dodge Dually towing our dump trailer. So I did not get a manual restriction, but I did get an air brake restriction. So I cannot drive a tractor trailer with air brakes. We don't have one yet, so it doesn't really mean a whole lot. Back to towing though. We're about to go up quite a steep hill. So like I said, we're towing about 24,000 pounds. This truck is a 2017 Dodge Ram 3500 with the 6.7 Cummins and the Aisin transmission. Now I don't really know the rear axle capacity, or not capacity, gear ratio on this, so I can't tell you, but we're gonna hit this hill, starting at the bottom here at 55 miles an hour. Now we're just shifted down into fourth gear. Probably gonna have to go for third, to be honest with you. Slowing down. This is a steep hill. Alright, going for third. And it's probably just gonna chill in third the whole way up this mountain. Doing just under maybe like 37 miles an hour right now. Now the biggest thing with this truck that amazes me is the transmission temperature. That transmission stays very cool. Yeah, we're slowing down to about 35. So the coolant and oil, engine oil temperature are getting a little warm. The cooling fan will turn on at 217. We're down to about 32 miles an hour. I'd be amazed if it went for second. Wow, it just went for second. Now we're actually slightly accelerating. Cooling fan's about to come on. There it goes. I don't know if you can see it, hopefully. Transmission has not moved. Coolant temp is coming right back down. Oil temp, 221, not too bad. It's going to shift back to third here in a second. There it goes. This is a lot of weight. And this is a very steep hill. I know the camera's not going to do it any justice, but... back to second, wow. 30 miles an hour. Transmission temperature is still not moved. This Aisin transmission is a monster. I love it. And there's the top. Alright, we're almost to the job. Check in with you in a second. Just arrived on site. Got the machines all unstrapped. You'll see right behind Kurt we have two 20-yard piles of topsoil, so 40 yards in total, and we're going to be doing all the work kind of up on that hill there. So let me get unloaded here, and we'll start walking you around and showing you what's going on. So we just got our topsoil uncovered. Of course there's a little pond in the middle of them. So from the tarp down to us is pretty wet, but we're working from like the top of the tarp up. I don't know why, but this client did not want to do the bottom half of the hill. They just wanted to do the top half. That's not up to me. That's what he wanted. But for now, I want to take this pile and just tidy it up so we can go through the middle here. It's going to be a big mess, but it's just the way it's got to be. So let's talk about what's going on here. Hopefully you can hear me over the wind, but that wind will assist in drying this out. As you can see, it's wet. It's really wet. I don't know how much rain we got, and we're supposed to get rain for the next 2 days. So the goal would be to spread out some topsoil today. So from this rock on our left, right here, we're going over to that rock, and that's getting topsoil from here up. 3 trees are getting planted kind of in conjunction with these 2 pines. We're gonna try our best to remove as many of these rocks in here as possible. So I'm gonna throw on the ripper and start working on this. This one, you probably can't tell, but it sticks 16 inches above grade. And if we can't pull it out, we're gonna attack it with the demo saw and the jackhammer. So while curtain fits get all that together, I'm gonna start poking away at this rock and see if we're able to make any progress. freaking rock. That was a fight to get that out, and now we just got to see if I can do that same thing to the other two. Alright, so as you can see, with Fitz standing next to these rocks, they are massive, the two that I was able to get out of there. That's probably like a 7, maybe 8 foot long rock, probably 3 feet wide and 2 feet tall. And the other one is probably 5 feet long, almost 2 feet thick, and probably 2.5 feet wide on average. This one in here is just, it's humongous. I cannot pick him up. There's no way I'm going to be able to get him out of the hole. Right now I'm actually holding him back towards us. That little white part was the piece that was sticking up. And if I hold it right where it is, it's just about at grade. Which is better than it was. And then it has right there, there's another one. So I'm going to give it one last ditch effort to let it lay back where it was, and then dig out under this section, so maybe when I roll it forward it'll get it down maybe another inch or two. Yeah, we'll see what happens, because we're gonna take lunch after I do this. I've probably been yanking on this thing for, not yanking on this, but between the total of the 3 rocks, I've probably been going for an hour trying to get these out of here. The biggest thing is I don't want to leave a crater, because we are supposed to get this big rain overnight. If I leave a crater, we're just gonna have a real bad time. So let me see what I can do with this in the next few minutes, and if I can't make any more progress, we're just gonna cover it right up. Oh, there's the rock for scale. Yeah, that's pretty big. And the other one over here. Big rock. So I was able to flip this one down a little bit, like I said. You could just see it's sticking out here, but I think once we topsoil everything, we'll be able to get that grade just right. There's already that one right there sticking out that I can't do anything about. He was another really big one, so I think it'll be all right. But I'm gonna take lunch here. After lunch, Kurt's gonna be going down the hard scrabble with the client. They're gonna pick out the trees that he wants, and we'll probably go get those tomorrow. That's not so rain dependent. We can go pick up the trees if it's raining. So let's go eat some lunch. All right, I'm gonna hop in the skid steer here, grade this out, see what we're working with. The goal is I want to get this packed in, since this was such a crater. If this doesn't get kind of sealed off before the rain comes in, it's gonna be a soupy nasty mess. So I'm gonna get that graded out, and then I'll have Fitz hop in here, and we're gonna bring the topsoil up and just put it in a pile right there. Because of that rain, we'll get it put in a pile and then cover it up with the tarp. So we're gonna talk to the client, figure out where he wants to put these rocks. We're thinking as a border. You can see one right there, so maybe one there and one right there. We'll find out in a minute when we talk to him. So we get this graded out and kind of packed in place. Everything in here is packed to the best of my ability with the dirt that I have here in the short time that I ran the machine. We talked with the client, and he is in total agreement. We're gonna put these big rocks kind of as the natural property boundary. So if you see right here, that's a property stake. And all the way down by the road, you might be able to see the mailbox. It's a straight line to that. So we're gonna take the bigger of the two, put them right here. And then I call it the smaller one, but it ain't small. And that's probably gonna go right here, right up against this big rock. So let's get working on that. And then we're gonna start moving topsoil, because they say it's not supposed to rain today, but it's drizzling, so I don't know. Let's get to work. Some people don't realize how heavy rocks are, but this skid steer will lift a 300-pound pallet of Unilock on pallet forks. And this rock right here, I cannot pick up in the bucket. So, oh, maybe I can pick it up now. Nope. Very heavy. So I've got it just kind of barely off the ground. Enough to move it though. We'll bring it on over here. Woohoo! Something like that, and then I can shift him into place. So you see the property stake right there? If you look down towards the road, it's basically the mailbox. So tell me when the back of that is at the line. How it fits out there as my spotter. Always make adjustments to that later too. So I got this area graded out pretty well. You can see the tip of that rock sticking out. No more so than the one right behind the Bobcat right there. But I got this graded out. There are some nasty lumps in here that are gone now. And I think the plan now is to pile the dirt right here. We'll bring all that topsoil up here, and then I'll get down by the road and the driveway cleaned up, because I think some of it may have spilled onto the neighbor's lawn, so we want to get that off of his lawn before the rain comes in tomorrow. But we'll pile it right here, get that tarp for the night, and by that time maybe Kurt will be back with the client. They left for hard scrabble just to figure out exactly what trees the client wants. So, all right, let's move some dirt. Let's get this topsoil loaded out. I'm probably just getting an unloading fence because it's so wet down here. Guys, so behind me you'll see the 40 yards of topsoil. We got everything brought up here, and then I just went and as I worked my way up I just kind of slicked through this. Like I said, we are getting some nasty rain tomorrow, and other camera died, so I'll pull out my backup. But yeah, we're getting some nasty rain for the next 2 days, And I mean, this is going to turn into a mudslide anyway, but I'd rather get it kind of slicked in so that happens a little less. I mean, I'll just show you, like, it's pretty soft. But anyway, that's it for today. Tomorrow we're going to attempt to go get the trees for this job. Like I said, that doesn't really matter if it's raining, so look at that, nice and shiny. But that trailer's coming home with us tonight. No need to leave it overnight. I think we're just gonna leave the gooseneck here. There's no problem with that. But I'll see you tomorrow. We gotta meet with someone tonight. We're hopefully selling our old Dodge. So see you tomorrow. Back at Hardscrabble. So you can see way over there, that's the enclosed trailer behind Kurt's truck, and we got the dump trailer behind us. We stopped this morning. We got a yard of compost soil for planting. We're going, it's a little weird, we're going to Katona to finish up the plantings on that job you've probably already seen by now. And then if the weather holds up, we'll bring the trees to the job that we're currently working on. Whether or not that happens today, it's probably gonna be tomorrow because of the weather. It's raining, kind of crummy weather. But Kurt's back here working on a design for the Katona project, just so we can get the right amount of plants. We just met with the client here, walked him around, and he picked out all the different plants he wants. So Kurt's just doing a quick paper design just to get an idea in his head, and then he can go order the plants. We can go drive around, get loaded up, and get moving on that project. So cool. I'll check back in with you when we're getting some plants loaded. So there goes Kurt and the Gator. They're gonna go pick out what they want, and when they're ready, put them all in here. So I gotta wait now. Well, there's a few of them. I believe this is all juniper, a juniper tree, some creeping juniper, and then some taller juniper plants. And with the compost here, Kurt just rode off again to go get another load, and then the last stuff will be some bigger trees in the back. Some more stuff. Never ends. All right, guys, so we're back for day 2 on the topsoil and planting project. We've got our 4 trees here, some decently big ones. I think there's a couple 4 to 5 footers, and then this one all the way on the left is a 6 to 7. So it might rain today. It did not really rain yesterday, but we did that finishing up on the Katona job. So we're probably going to end up getting the excavator down here right to the edge of the driveway, put the pallet forks on. We'll be able to get these plants out of here. We got a little bit of compost soil as well. But first order of business today, I got to get the machines greased up, and then we'll get working here. All right, that was a bit of a fight to get this thing greased. The grease tube I was using, the end was like kind of crushed in, and the grease gun just was not having it. So got it done though. The excavator is greased. I'll grease the skid steer later, but I want to get these plants unloaded. So we'll throw in the pallet forks. I'll make my way down there. We'll back the truck up and get them unloaded. So Kurt just walked around with the client, figured out exactly where we want to get these plants. So we got a paint mark right there, and then Kurt's just marking out the rest of those planting holes. We're gonna get everything dug, then we can amend the soil with some of that compost dirt that we brought in, and then start planting things. Once everything's planted, we can then do all the topsoil work. So there's not a whole lot to this project. It's just got to get everything laid out right and graded right. So give us a few minutes and we'll get things laid out. So that's 2 of the 4 trees installed. So instead of using the compost soil out of the trailer, we're just using the topsoil that's here. It's basically the same thing. The compost soil just has a little bit more organic matter in it, but the stuff that's in the truck is super, super wet. So it's basically like a goo at this point. So it's not really a great thing to be planting planting trees with right now. So we're just going to use the topsoil that's already up here. It's working good. Kurt's amending it with a little bit of biotone. But yeah, no, it's working out. So we got 2 more to dig and plant. And it's kind of been raining this whole time, but just a light drizzle. We're going to get these 2 installed and then go from there. See what happens with the rest of the day. So all 4 trees or bushes or whatever you want to call them are planted. I've got Fitz in the skid steer. He's just warming it up. We're going to move these piles of dirt that we dug. Those are just going to get graded out up there before we topsoil. And then Kurt is running to Kent. He's got to get some mulch to put around these trees and pick up some straw for job will be topsoil. So the only thing left to do before topsoil is, like I said, we got to move these few piles of dirt. Well, the rain won. It's not raining now, but it's going to rain more. And as you can see, it's just, you can't drive equipment around in this, unfortunately. So I graded out what I could with the machine. We're just, you know, if you uncover the topsoil at this point, the topsoil is going to turn into that. And how do you rake that? You know, you don't. So 3 o'clock, it's going to rain more. We're going to try for tomorrow, and if tomorrow doesn't work, Friday actually looks pretty nice. So Kurt already left. He went to go pick up lunch for him and Fitz, and then we're just going back to my house. Not often we pull off of a job because of weather, but in something like this, you can't do anything. So stop while we're ahead, and we'll see you when we're back here either tomorrow or Friday. All right, guys. It's technically day 3 on this project. The skies have parted. Dropping the dump trailer because the gooseneck is coming out of there today. And hopefully we can finish this project today. Right? Alright, so Kurt's ready with his truck. Now it's time to just get over there and spread some topsoil. Alright, we're back on site. We just got the gooseneck hooked up and spun around. Just it's easier to turn it around now before it has a lot of weight on it. Making those tight turns is not great for the axles when you have all that weight. But anyway, you can see we got a little bit of water still, but way better than it was the other day. So the goal here, I'm gonna get the excavator just kind of out of the way for a minute, including all the attachments. That tree right there is the line of our topsoil. It's gonna come to there, and then everything from here up will be topsoiled. So as long as I get the excavator in front of that, it will be out of the way. I'm going to hop in the machine, the skid steer. I gotta spread out this pile of just leftover dirt, adjust this grade, especially under that dirt is those rocks that we were messing with when we first started this project. Topsoil is going to go through this whole area. Kurt and Fitz are going to work. We have some mulch in the Chevy, so we're going to mulch all the trees that we installed the other day. Kurt also has some of this plastic edging to put around the trees as well, just to match what's here. And it shouldn't be too long to get all that done, and then we can haul everything out of here. So we have a meeting at 3 o'clock. That's probably 40 minutes away. So the goal would be to be home with the machines in time to leave for that meeting. So that means home by about 2 o'clock. So let's start the timer. It's a little, we got here earlier than usual. It's 8:51, so let's get started. Let me move this excavator out of the way, and then we'll get to work. All right, so I have you set up on that little tree right there with a longer time lapse, a little faster one. We'll try to let that run as long as it can before the battery dies, but let me get this graded out. This is just the leftover dirt. I kind of want to fill where I'm sitting right now, just to get us above the grade of that rock a little better. And doing that, I'm going to make a big mess, and then I need to kind of strategically spread this topsoil from the back here, working my way out, just so I'm not driving over it and turning it into soup. But Kurt and Fitz are working on the trees down there, and that shouldn't take them too long at all. So let's get moving. So let's talk about where we're at here. Since it rained so much, even though we had the topsoil tarped, it still soaked up a lot of water, especially where I had pulled those rocks out of the ground. That was just very, very wet. I don't know if you could see it on camera, but every time I drive over this, it's super, super goopy. So I got it kind of bladed off to the point where it's rakeable, kind of. It's so wet and thick and goopy that it's very hard to rake. So once the wind hits it and the sun hits it, this will start to dry out a little bit. We may have to come back one more day after it's dried a little bit just to do a final raking, but the goal is just to get everything to a rough grade. I'm gonna do that last little bit there and see what we can do by hand, but it's one of those situations where you can't do too much or else it's just gonna make it worse. So let me talk it over with Kurt and Fitz here, come up with a little bit of a game plan, probably finish up spreading that last little bit, and then see what happens. Alright, so we're at the final stages here. The skid steer is out, and they were actually able to rake through the majority of that. I mean, actually all of it. So Fitz is going through and seeding now. I just need to kind of squeegee my way out of here, just to get rid of these track marks. This was not part of the job. Not really sure why, but he just wanted to do that upper section. So this, I don't think, is getting cedar straw. I may be wrong on that. I'd have to talk to Kurt, but we're just going to squeegee our way through this, seed and straw that, and then load our way out. So Kurt's making his way over here with a lot of straw in the yard max. Fitz is running around with the cedar, so let's get cleaned up here. Alright, they are finishing up with the seed and straw. I think they are going to do this little trail on the end here, just so it's not going to erode all nasty. I got the skid steer loaded on the trailer, just got to throw this thing on there. It's always fun with the pallet forks, especially when you have both machines. So let me get this loaded and I'll help them clean up. We'll get out of here. Man, I wish I got it on video. This is like a 50 by 50 tarp. And if you ever were in elementary school in the late 90s, early 2000s, you may remember that big circle thing that you like flop and everybody gets underneath it. Well, we were stretching this thing out in the cul-de-sac, and it reaches from the gooseneck to the enclosed trailer, and then it went that way. Well, the wind got a hold of it, and we were all holding on to it, and it was, I don't know, it was probably 15 feet in the air, and it looks like a burrito, all right. It felt like I was in elementary school again. It's kind of funny. Now you see why ship sails are so powerful. That thing grabbed a lot of wind. I bet if we get a good gust, it would have picked at least one of us off the ground. But anyway, loaded up, tied down, got the forks here. This is the best way I figured to do it, and it works pretty good. You know, the gripper rests on the deck, and then the forks rest on top of the blade there. But nice heavy load. We ran out of hay, so I'm probably gonna come back to finish that up at some point, whether that's today or who knows. We have a meeting to go to a little later today, so we can't be late for that. We already rescheduled once, but it looks good. I'm not gonna walk you all the way up there because this is still really soft and I don't want to put a bunch of footprints in it, but not a bad job. So I guess the client was happy. He was walking around with Kurt talking about possibly doing some more garden work. That'd be nice. So I think that's it for this one. So as usual, I'll ask for it. If you want to like, comment, subscribe, that's great. If you don't want to, you don't have to. That's fine with me as well. So I want to thank you guys for watching. I know they enjoy it just as much as I do. I want to thank you guys big time. It means a lot. All right, see you on the next one. Peace out, guys.